Edmond here. It's almost morning, so I have to move through these tutorials real quick before noise sets in around. Uh, okay, so we're going to be talking about flow controls. I made an earlier tutorial on flow controls using the on-table keyword. Today we are going to look at something much more similar to if um, else if. And then we are going to look at how this applies in DevLess, how you can use these kind of keywords in DevLess, how it's done, how it's actually implemented within DevLess. So without much further explanation and talk, let's go ahead and then create a service to. I'm just going to create a service named votes. For the first time, we're not going to be creating a table because we wouldn't be doing much of writing and reading to the database. So what we are trying to achieve here is a simple you are eligible to vote kind of thing using the flow statement. So um, to do this, okay. So before we even start working through this, let me do a little bit of explanation. So in most programming languages we have if, we have else if, and in the case of something like Python is elif, right? And then we have the final else statement, and we know how these ones work. So if the condition within this if statement passes, all of these are ignored. If else if succeeds, if fails, then it picks up from the else if statement. If that condition also fails, then finally else kicks in. So there's somewhat similar concept within DevLess, and the keywords are whenever, else, whenever, and then otherwise. So the choice for this keyword is based on the fact that within rules, what you do is in the form of an event and not necessarily some static logic. I don't know if you get it, but because of the action nature of rules, we chose this particular keywords to use. Okay, so let's go ahead and then see how we can implement our voting thing here. Before we do this, let's create a simple user interface to take in the age of the user. So we create a simple form here, and the form is only going to ask for the age. So this should be a number, and then this should be age. So now we need to tell DevLess about this, and this is going to be dv add 1 2 votes, and then we pick an imaginary table because we don't really actually have this table we're about to so we are about to enter here. So we just create an imaginary table cast. It's not a table we've created, but since we are not writing to the database, we are not going to end up in the database. There are no problems with this. So now I'll add my submit button. Can I vote? Right? Can I vote? And if you're still wondering how this front end is going to be connected to DevLess, this is the connection. This script here connects our front end to DevLess, and to get this script to paste into your front end code, you'd see it way up in the header of your DevLess instance. So right there. Okay, so let's just go ahead and then let me clean out this, and then go ahead and then render this in our browser. Good. So right now, if I attempt this, it will be like it's trying to write to the database, and it's going to tell us it can't find it. But I'm not seeing any message upon clicking this because I do not have my notify set. So I'm going to add this real quick class dv notify save, and save this, get back to our front end, refresh. Good. So now if I attempt this, now it's telling me the table doesn't exist. Of course, we didn't create a table for this because we wouldn't need it for this tag. So let's go ahead and then add our rules, shall we? So before creating, whenever, now we need a condition in there. Like I can write down my condition in this form. Say input age. Whenever input age is less than, if the input age is less than 18, Then what we want to do is succeed with the message you can't vote. Now let's throw in an emoji here. Okay, so whenever the age is less than 18 you can't vote, and then we can go like otherwise. Let me bring this statement down here. So it's going to read otherwise succeed with go ahead and vote. Right, so let's go ahead and then run this. Come here, let me provide 45. Go ahead and vote, right? 18. Yeah, I can also vote. What about 13? You can't vote. Cool. So this is very simple, like it's very clear, it's straightforward. But then, so there's this thing, this kind of architecture, this kind of paradigm we are trying to push here in DevLess, and what we would encourage users to do is to use the assertion library provided. So right in here, instead of using the normal flow, in normal form of assertion, we have like this greater than symbol we have here. We encourage users to look up rules as list of assertions, which you can get. You can get access to the documentation right from our homepage. So what we encourage users to do is use assertion library instead of writing out, instead of using the default operator keywords. So for example, in the case here, I need input age is it's less than. It's less than, so I need the less than keyword. So this is the keyword I need. All right, and to use this, all I have to do is type in assert it's then less than, right? And then I put a comma here. So this would assert it's less than da da da, then it's prints out that. Okay, so cool. So I should be expecting the same thing. Let's do something much higher. 79. I have an error somewhere in here. What happened? So whenever I said this is less than, okay, so I have two open quotes here and save back here. 78. Yeah, go ahead and then vote. Good. And then when I come a little bit below 18, yeah, I can't vote. So I get the same output, but then I'm using the inbuilt assertion library. And what the assertion library, so there are two reasons why we encourage people to write out the assertion library. It makes your code much more readable. So like once I see this, I understand what's going on. So if I have a business person sitting right by my side, they can try and make sense out of what I'm writing. The second thing is, so with the implementation of DevLess future, where you're trying to gain much more speed, or say for some reason you need to scale up, because the default platform is built on Laravel PHP. Let's say you need more speed. So now instead of rewriting your whole application in a new language, what happens is we'll provide a runtime, in say a Go runtime. A Go runtime engine, and then what will happen is you can just pick your services, import them into this Go runtime without having to change anything, and then they should run perfectly. So what would happen is we have specification for these rules, we just re-implement them and go, and then you as a user don't have to rewrite your code, which is why we encourage users to use our inbuilt libraries instead of going with the non-operators, although they are allowed within rules. So yeah, if you didn't understand the last bit of it, do not worry, but all you have to know is whenever you need to do assertions, please try and then use our assertion library. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, so if we ever had a need, if we had a need for else whenever, we would have put in that here. But in this particular situation, we do not need when else whenever. Right? So let's just say, okay, let's try else whenever actually. So what we can do is, let's say if we are a little younger than 18, then what will happen is you cannot vote, right? But let's say if you are older, let's say if you are way above 60, let's say, wow, let's try and send a message out there. If we are greater than if you are greater than 60. So what would happen is we go assert it's greater than so the input age is greater than 60, right? Then we'll succeed with senior citizen. Let's just do go senior citizen, and then else, that is otherwise succeed with you can vote, right? Okay, so let's try this. If everything is okay, 12 should still be you can't vote. Good. 45 class assets, it's okay. I think I made a typo here. So where did we make this? Assets. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and run this here. So you can vote, and if you're a senior citizen, that's 80. Go senior citizen. Exactly. So now you've seen how the whole flow control statement thing works, and hopefully this tutorial has been helpful. That would be all for now. Thank you for watching.